Still using NavigationView in SwiftUI. In this video, I'll show you how to master NavigationStack in iOS 17 and never get lost in your navigation again. The app we will create allows the user to navigate to different views using the navigation stack. When the user clicks on any of the records in the list, they will then navigate to the detailed view, as you can see here, where the user's profile will be displayed to the screen. The user is then able to navigate to another subview by clicking on the Go to Next View button, which is this one here. When the user wants to return to the main menu or to the main screen as the first view, they can just click on the Go Back to Home button. So this is the feature we'll be creating in this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe for more Swift and SwiftUI tutorials. The first thing we need to do is to create our user struct. This will allow us to pass the data into our navigation stack. So we need to create a new Swift file. Name the file user. Click on create. Enter the following struct user identifiable, as we need to loop through each of the records in the list. Var ID equals ID. So we give each record a unique identifier. Var name string var age int. On lines 10, this should be hashable. The next thing we need to do is to open our content view and then implement the view. On line 3, we need to add or create a new instance of the navigation path at state private var navigation path equals to navigation path. The next thing we need to do is to populate our test data that will include an array of user objects. Really, this should be coming from an API such as Firebase or some JSON payload. And it should also be within its own layer. So the first user that we're passing in is called, or name, the name of the user is John Doe. John's age is 28. The second user is Jane Smith, age 34. The third user is Charlie Brown, age 22. So the next thing we need to do is to delete line 15, delete the text element, and then include our navigation stack view. And the path. And for the path, we need to include our navigation path. We also need to add a view stack. Just going to see if the preview works. And then within the view stack, we need to add a text element. With navigation stack. The font style will be title, padding, and then we need to create a list and loop through each of the users within the list by extracting the user's name. And the next thing we need to do is to add a bit of padding. And this will add padding inside each of the list rows. Add the background color, which is blue, opacity 0.2. Border radius 8. Navigation title, which is users. For the preview, I don't think it's going to work. Let me compile it this way, see if this helps. And then try the preview again afterwards. So that should be, on line 24, that should be users with an S at the end. The next thing we need to do is to define where to navigate when the user selects a record from the list. Navigation destination, so this is the destination. We pass in the user's struct or the user object. User in. Just trying to preview again. I'll just run it instead within the simulator. Let's see. And here it is, but it's showing incorrectly. And there's no navigation link. Seems like we missed something out. So I'll just stop it and implement the navigation link. So that should be after line 24. Navigation link value user. After line 34, there should be another closing bracket. They should have two closing brackets there. I think this is right now. I'll rerun it. Still trying to run or launch. Don't know what Xcode is doing. I'll just stop it and try to run it again. It's finally loaded. So as you can see, our data or records is populated within the list. If I click on John Doe, as you can see, it doesn't navigate anywhere because we need to define where it should navigate to. So in the second tutorial, which is tomorrow, we will implement the detailed view. So when I click on any of the records, it will display the selected record on the detailed view using the. Don't forget to subscribe for more Swift and SwiftUI tutorials. Still using NavigationView in SwiftUI. In this video, I'll show you how to master NavigationStack in iOS 17 and never get lost in your navigation again. The app we will create allows the user to navigate to different views using the navigation stack. When the user clicks on any of the records in the list, they will then navigate to the detailed view, as you can see here, where the user's profile will be displayed to the screen. The user is then able to navigate to another subview by clicking on the Go to Next View button, which is this one here. When the user wants to return to the main menu or to the main screen at the first view, they can just click on the Go Back to Home button. So this is the feature we'll be creating in this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe for more Swift and SwiftUI tutorials. In this tutorial, we will implement the detail view and the next view. The purpose of the detail view is to show the user what information was submitted from the previous view. First thing we need to do is to create a new SwiftUI file. Name the file detail view. And now we create our actual view. Bar user. And the reason why we need a user object variable is because we need to have access to the attributes of the user class that will be used in the detailed view to display the user's name and their age. At binding bar navigation path navigation path. Next thing we need to do is to set our text elements to user detail view. Add some style and a bit of padding. So really, all this is just a title for the view, and then we need to add another text element that will display the user's name that was submitted from the previous page or from the previous screen. User name, font, headline, a bit of padding. We do the same thing for the user's age. User.age, font, subheadline, padding. Now we use our navigation link to enable the user to navigate from this screen to the next screen. The next screen will be the next view screen. Go to next view. And that's the name of our view, next view. So that's the value. Padding. Background color, green. Foreground color, white. Corner radius, 8. Delete the preview. Now I'll keep the preview in. I'll see if it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So the next thing we need to do is we need to add our navigation title. In the navigation title, we extract our username. So it'd be like user's name details. For example, Kevin's details. Navigation destination. String.cell. Value in. If value is equal to next view. Really, here, we shouldn't be hard coding it, we should be using enums or constant, for example. So if the next view, if the value is next view, that means we have to call this line of code to navigate to the next view. Although the next view hasn't been created as yet, we'll be creating it in a few minutes. There must be an error on line 34. It's not the declaration. I know what it is. I've forgotten to. I thought I included the B stack. It should be a B stack at the top. Look there, it should be after line 16. Now I'll just indent. So we need to create our next view. But before we do that, I'll see if I can get the preview to work. This way. Struct. Detail view. Preview. Preview provider. Static bar. Preview. Detail view. So we're passing in the user object that includes a name and an age. This is just for the preview only. Age 28. NavigationPath. Constant. NavigationPath. See if that works. I mean, if it's compilable. So that seems okay now. So line 41, we can uncomment line 41. And now we will create our next view. We'll just create a new SwiftUI file. Just want to see if the preview works. Make that out again, in the detail view. Let's see if the preview works. At the moment, the preview's not working, so I'll just delete that one. Let's just continue to implement the detail view. So we can uncomment line 41 again in the detail view, and then open the next view. Delete the preview. Type in the following: at binding bar navigation path navigation path. This is the final view. For the font, we just use a title, the font type, which is title, add a bit of padding. We need a button to enable the user to navigate to the root view, which is the main view. Go back to home. So that will allow the user to pop to the root view navigation stack or navigation controller. Navigation path, remove last navigation path add. Padding, background, color, which is red, foreground color, white, corner radius, 8, and I forgot to add my view stack again. That should be at the top on line 16. And then we just need a title, which is called Next. Just compile it. There's an error. Try it again. Xcode isn't loading the simulator, so I had to shut down Xcode and try again. I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't forget to subscribe for more Swift and SwiftUI tutorials.